Mr. Rahul Gandhi's recent visit to the US, where he spoke to Indians out there. To many of them, it seems that it's gloom and doom now. What he was saying that in India there is trouble, and now the Prime Minister is going to the US. So tell me, the way Mr. Rahul Gandhi connects with the diaspora and the way Prime Minister Modi connects with the diaspora, the differences.
When Prime Minister Modi is connecting with the diaspora, he's talking about hope, positivity, the change that's possible. While if you look at Rahul Gandhi, his entire rhetoric, in fact, the kind of organizations that he chose, the kind of settings that he's participated in, it is all about hurt and grievance and, the negativity that, this is not happening, that's not happening, India is, democracy is dying, this whole false narrative. So there is that very clear difference. And when I look at the press release that was put up by this organization, which seems to have coordinated most of his events, this Indian American Muslim Council, they've issued this long press release asking the Speaker of the US Congress to disinvite the Prime Minister from giving that joint session address. And that entire press release is replete with lies, things that are not even factual. Preposterous claims that 200 million Indian Muslims are going to be disenfranchised by the CAA. They'll be reduced to a second-class status. I mean, these are things that are complete lies. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi has gone to the US, patronized by these people, to make these arguments. I think it's very unfortunate. It troubles me because you're doing this on a foreign land where you should have been speaking for the entire country, all of India. Instead, you've taken this very, very narrow perspective, and then you're trying to deepen these fault lines, where the diaspora to you is this activist community which will create disaffection back home. You can't have foreign agents working to create disaffection in India on topics which are completely baseless.
In the book, now tell me how foreign policy is important. His communication with the diaspora, the impact of that.
Foreign policy and Mann Ki Baat, I think very early on, it makes an appearance. 4th episode of Mann Ki Baat, January of 2015, President Obama does a joint address with Prime Minister taking on questions. So I think it started off on that very high note. And then over the years, across episodes, you see not only the diaspora making an appearance. For example, he talks about this Maharashtrian couple who live in New Jersey, who have popularized Malkham in the US. But he's gone beyond that. He has talked about not just people other than those of Indian origin, who have become ambassadors, sort of, for Indian soft power, be it yoga, be it Sanskrit, be it Ayurveda. He gives multiple examples. For example, he talks about Khadi in Mexico. There is this gentleman who's popularizing Khadi in Mexico. He talks about this lady in the US who is, written a beautiful book on Krishna and Bhagavad Gita and so on. He talks about how Sanskrit is being popularized in Latin America. But what is most interesting is this former African leader, his daughter, comes to India to get treated in a Kerala Ayurvedic center for her eye condition. Now, this gets coverage in the local media in Africa. And this gentleman then, in the upcoming elections in his country, talks about, I want to bring Indian traditional medicine to Africa so that more people can benefit. Now, that is a very tangible measure of the impact of soft power. It is a way for the West to understand how you can achieve developmental change, because the world has only seen the China model. The China model is undemocratic. When they roll out developmental projects, you have no idea what grievances have just been swept under the carpet or just been steamrolled. Then you look at the developmental model of India. It is a very important example for several other countries that you can achieve development at this scale, with this kind of diversity, with this kind of complexity, with a very positive approach.
Click here to watch the full episode.